Oh, hot dog. Oh, now I hear it. Oh, they're coming around, so we'll see, Larry.
They're coming around.
That's my... I was talking about what did I say? Did I go right through that? I didn't mean it right there. I didn't mean it. She knows that. Oh, look at this girl. The band. So happy when Diane decided, huh? I know. Oh, look at the little one.
Congratulations on this wonderful day, the unveiling of your statue, and this declaration will be entered, this congressional resolution will be entered into the congressional record on Monday, December 15th in your honor.
And now, champ here representing the city of Easton, Pennsylvania, the mayor, the Honorable Sal Pinto.
Thank you, Mike. No, I got a standing ovation, champ. Look at that. I got a standing. This day is a very proud moment for me. Of course, it's a proud moment for Larry. But for me to be the honorable mayor of this wonderful city at a time when we can finally dedicate this statue to a man who has given a lifetime to this city, especially its youth, is very important to me as a friend from our childhood. Larry has given me a lot of wisdom over the last 50 years. You can't even imagine what he has taught me. And he taught me the one thing is to speak from your heart. And I'm speaking from the heart today. On behalf of the citizens of Easton, Champ, I can't tell you how proud I am to accept this statue of you in our downtown along Larry Holmes Drive. By the way, this was the first team jacket Larry gave me back in the late 70s, like 1978. So when you saw me wearing it, it was a little snug. Fit me more like a shirt than a jacket, but I don't think he'd get into that first robe he wore either. Champ, I got to thank Diane and the foundation legend of the Heart Foundation Board of Directors. They have a certificate coming from me because if it wasn't without their hard work, this would not happen. I'm very proud of the work that they've done and what they've promised me they will continue to do for our young people. That's really important as Larry's legend lives on. Larry, for all these people to come out from your city, that's an honor. But more importantly, for your peers, many of whom you fought against in the ring, the wealth of your respect is sitting behind me. Imagine these people who came from far and wide to honor him. He is well respected in the boxing community. When I was at Canastota, New York, to see him entered into the International Boxing Hall of Fame, they announced that that was the best turnout of boxers they've ever had. They came out for the champ. And I'm so glad you all came out for the champ. I can stand up here for 25 hours and speak about the champ and all that I've learned from him, but I'll end it with this. Larry Holmes is not only a great fighter, more importantly, he was a great champion and a wonderful human being. Thank you.
Each and every Monday, the Champ and I tape our television show. What the heck were they thinking? And I today will not ask that question because we know what everybody is thinking. They are here to honor one of the greatest champions of all time, a man who held and continuously defended the heavyweight championship of the world longer than any champion in boxing history. Champ, there's been so many great moments. 1978, that historic fight against Ken Norton, Caesar's Palace, Las Vegas, Nevada, a great moment. Another great moment that I remember, as Sal alluded to, I'm standing in the middle of a cornfield in Canastota, New York, 94 degrees with a suit on, introducing my partner into the International Boxing Hall of Fame as one of the greatest champions of all time. And Champ, I have to say, all those moments were great, but this is pretty cool, your own statue. That is so cool. And all that he has done to pay back and give back to his community, you can't say enough great things about what the champion has done. And there's been so many great moments, and having your own statue. And I do want to say, let this statue serve to be an inspiration for young and old alike. When you think that life has not dealt you the best cards, the cards that you deserve, you don't have to take it. You can be like the champ and say, I'm going to work hard. I'm going to dedicate my life. I can be anything I want to be. Here is living proof. And 200 years from now, when people walk by that statue, they will remember one of the greatest champions of all time, Larry Holmes. And let me just say, speaking about the city of Easton, Pennsylvania, the Easton assassin made the word Easton recognizable all over the world, in China, in Puerto Rico, in Africa, Indonesia, Italy. This man put the city of Easton, Pennsylvania worldwide. And for that, champ, what can we say? A big round of applause. And now, representing the WBC, to come up and say a few words to one of their all-time greatest champions, here is Mr. Mike George.
Diane, Larry, on behalf of the WBC President, Mauricio Suleiman, the late Jose Suleiman, and the WBC Board of Governors, we congratulate you on this memorable day of the unveiling of your statue, and we are here to pay homage to your legacy and greatness in the ring. Larry, you are one of the greatest champions of the WBC, both in and out of the ring. Again, congratulations for continuing to fight the good fight and to be a true ambassador to the sport of boxing.
I think we're having a fight behind me, and we'll tell you more about that historic battle coming up in just a couple moments. But let me just say, if that fight were really going on, it was back, you'd have paid thousands of dollars to be where you are right here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, a pleasure to introduce this next gentleman to you, a great boxing promoter, longtime friend of the champ. Here is Murad Muhammad.
Thank you very much. We say with God's name, the merciful benefactor, the merciful redeemer. You and I thought we woke up this morning and said we'll be here to honor Larry Holmes. I'm here to tell you it was written in the womb of your mother that this day you would be here. Nothing happens without the will of God, not a leaf falls from the tree without his will. And Larry Holmes in his womb of his mother, it said he would be the heavyweight champion of the world for 7.5 years. Let's give him a hearty round of applause.
Thank you, Murad. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce a man to you has been a major force in boxing for well over 35, 40 years, as Murad alluded to. Without question, inside the ring, one of the greatest referees in boxing history, has been the head of the New Jersey State Athletic Commission for many, many years, and under his direction, under his guidance, many of the rules have been in place to improve boxing safety, for the safety of the fighters. He has overseen some of the biggest championship fights in the history of the Garden State. My pleasure to introduce to you, here he is, Larry Hazard.
Thank you very much, Mike, and thank you, Murad, for those words. Not to be redundant, but I think that the boxing world wouldn't mind if I said I'm speaking for them this afternoon. Larry Holmes represents, not only for Easton, Pennsylvania, but for the boxing world. He represents the best in all of us. And what Larry really has done throughout his career, because for many years, you know, they told Larry that he couldn't, but he proved to them that he could. They said he was too small, They said that he couldn't punch hard enough, he didn't weigh enough. And then Larry came up in the shadow of two of the greatest heavyweight fighters in boxing history, the great Muhammad Ali and the great Joe Frazier. And Larry proved not only to them, but he proved to the boxing world that he could also be great. And in that lesson, there's a lesson for all of us. Here's a boy from the hood who told everybody that he could be the best that he could be. And he proved it to me. And so Larry, like the great champion, like all of the great champions that came before you, you are a credit to your race, the human race. And we are all so very proud of you. And I am so proud of Easton, Pennsylvania, and those who are responsible for this statue today. Because Larry Holmes is here. He can smell these flowers and he can see this statue. All too often, we wait until the great ones are gone, and then we celebrate them. A few months ago, in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, we celebrated the unveiling of a statue of one of my dearest friends and another great boxing hero, the great Smoking Joe Frazier. Unfortunately, Joe is not here. He was not here to see that. But I know that Joe was smiling on that day, and he's smiling on this day up in heaven, Larry, because you were one of his sparring partners, and he's so proud of you. That's Jody Ballard. That's Jody Ballard. Jody has to get his say. And Jody was Larry's chief sparring partner, and now Jody's with me. Jody's with me. And every time Jody messes up, I tell him I have to blame Larry. I have to blame Larry for what he did to you in training. But anyway, we're so happy, and I'm so happy to be here this afternoon to share this great moment. And I'm privileged to call Larry, and Larry calls me his friend. So thank you very much, Larry. And thank you, Diane. And congratulations to everyone here in Easton and to the Holmes family. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Larry, and keep up the fantastic work in the state of New Jersey. What can I say about this next gentleman? I've had the pleasure of knowing him for many, many years. And before I introduce him, I want to give you a little fun fact. And the fact is that his bout against the champion in Caesars Palace, Las Vegas, Nevada, still holds the record for the highest attended boxing event in all of history, with almost 30,000 fans in attendance at Caesars Palace. So big that no arena would hold it. They had to stage it outdoors in the parking lot. Ladies and gentlemen, in one of the biggest money-grossing fights, here is the former #1 world's heavyweight contender, gentleman, Jerry Cooney.
Thank you so much, Jody. Champion maker. Champion maker. Listen, I gotta apologize because I thought I was coming here to sign a contract for 2016. Holmes Cooney 2. Listen, it's really great to be here with you. I've been with this guy for a very long time. My friend, a great champion. You know, there was a lot of nonsense going on back in the day in 1982, leading up to our fight. A lot of ignorant people talking a lot of ignorant things, and we got kind of angry with each other. And the greatest thing that happened to me was in that ring, when I was in the center of the ring with Larry Holmes, getting the instructions from Mills Lane. And Larry Holmes looked up to me and said, "Let's have a good fight."
and that's heavyweight boxing. And that's the Larry Holmes that I know, come to know these years. And I was wondering why it was taking so long to have this beautiful statue raised up for him. He's a great friend, a great champion, and I've come to love him, and thank you, Larry, for having me.
Thank you, thank you. You know, Jerry, I'm trying to figure out 10 million in 1982, what would that be like today? 60, 70 million, I don't know. But I do want to mention a little bit of history. You'll be able to purchase a poster with the pictures and signed by Don King, Larry Holmes, and Jerry Cooney, a special edition autographed poster of one of boxing history's greatest fights. You'll be able to purchase that a little bit later on. At this time, I would like to call up a special guest that has come here to pay tribute to the champ, Larry Holmes. Without question, he's been called the greatest boxing promoter of all time, with such great fights as The Thriller in Manila, Holmes Ali, Holmes Cooney, and the list goes on and on. And as they say, only in America, here is the one and only Don King.
Thank you. Only in America. Let me say how very deeply proud I am of Diane and Larry and all of you that came out to pay homage to him on this momentous occasion. This is a great country called America, and you have to make America work. Many people don't know, breaking down the color barrier and the gender barrier is a very difficult thing to do. So when you find things like this happening, it means that everybody that poured accolades and nice things about Larry, it gave the one who gave him an opportunity a great blessing and a thrill. So you got to understand, sometimes when you help someone, it is what helping them, giving an opportunity in the land of opportunity. And when they fulfill the prophecy of demonstrating that what those founding fathers said many years ago, a new nation, under God, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men and women are created equal. And so it's the thing here that it makes me feel very proud, privileged, and honored to be here with my man, Brother Sal. He's now the mayor, But I've seen him coming all the way up, and all the people that are here today to pay tribute to yourselves, really, because you're showing what America is about and how America can grow, and if you make it grow, you got to be able to stand up and speak out. Right now, I'm an ambassador for Israel and peace in the Middle East. Now I'm on ambassador for Iran, so I'm in between on both sides. Nelson Mandela made me an ambassador. He said you could do a lot for boxing, but you could do more for peace. So I'm working all around the clock, around the world, being able to deal with a guy who was a number man from Cleveland, ex-convict, 4 years in the penitentiary, and to come here, oh, absolutely. And to be able to stand here and bear witness to Jerry Cooney and Ernie Shavers and all of the fighters that came through under my leadership at the time. And it's very proud. I'm happy for Murad, Young man who's really working hard, try to dedicate himself and commit himself to the excellence. But I'm a people promoter. I'm a promoter of the people, by the people, and for the people. And my magic lies in my people ties. It is about the people that is what counts. That's why we say in the Constitution, we the people. And when you deal with that, you can make it happen. Women don't know, and especially, let me say, white women. They don't understand that they've been in a concentric form of slavery ever since this country began. They don't have their rights, and all people of color has been in a part of the other part of the slavery. That's the two slaves in the round circle. Right now, we're fighting for the women that's to get their rights equally, all the way down, equality they does not have. And so we must understand and appreciate the fact that from the pioneers of Elizabeth Cady Stanton and Susan B. Anthony, you know what I mean, Sojourner Truth, Harriet Tubman, and these people, Lucy Stone, they were fighting to be able to come out of the yoke of oppression, in which they still are under today, you know what I mean, will be able to get their equality, perfect human being. So we're going to fight for that, and Larry has joined me in that, and we have a young lady named Michelle Patterson who has the Women's World Network, 100,000 women fighting to get what this country, 239 years ago, since a lady named Abigail Adams wrote to her husband and says, when will you give these people the women? Be generous. He said, don't give the men all of their power that you can be able to let them use their tyranny on us. All right, so he fought right in there, you know, that's John Quincy Adams. And when we come in, you see people working like this here, I have to admire the women because they too have been enslaved, but they've been manipulated. We were with the whip and the lash. So there's a thing here, so we have to bring this together. And when you come to Easton, Pennsylvania, which was all of us bitten by that yoke of oppression, of white supremacy and control, and to see Larry Holmes come out as a young man with a guy with come out with the desire, the commitment to be something, and to find himself now with a congregation of people of all races, colors, and creeds standing here paying tribute and honor to him, it demonstrates what this great nation called America truly is. So we have to make it work, and we have to be able to do that with all of you. So I applaud you all for being here. I'm very blessed that I had the opportunity to play a small part in this young man's career, and to see, to bear witness to the time as it grows, to see all of us come together, you know what I mean? So let us make those words come true. We boast privilege and liberty, freedom, justice, equality all around the world, but we practice the self-evident lie. So we got to be able to make the lie come true. So now we can do that by what you're seeing right here today, because getting people together. Michael Jackson, he said music is the ribbon that ties humanity together. I added to that, boxing is the catalyst that brings humanity together to be tied. So we are here together, one and all, each for all and all for each. And I just want to say thank you, Easton. I want to say thank you, Larry Holmes and Diane. You were proving the part about that woman being there. So now let us reach back and get that woman, and let us give her the equal right. And the day in 2015, we will still talk about can he get equal pay. And can they get this? I mean, it's really, it's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling. So some of the white supremacists that I meet a lot of them, you know, and we all sit down and talk about different things from where we're coming from. And so in so doing, they says, we are students of J.C. Calhoun. I don't know if you all know who J.C. Calhoun is, but J.C. Calhoun was a senior senator from South Carolina. And he said, before I would give up one item of my superiority to equality of the woman or the Negro, he said, I would go to any extremity. He said, there's only two divisions in this country. That's not the rich and the poor. It's the black and the white. And he said, and when the white does anything, I don't care what they do, how bad it is, they're the equals, they're the leaders. But if they have any character, he said, if they have any heart, then they can move themselves out from poverty and blight. He said, but don't come to me talking about equality. You know what I mean? And that theme is still rolling today. You know what I mean? So I want you all to witness and bear witness that a congregation and coming together like this is a blessing from God. And I'm just delighted that you all would honor him and to honor the statue of him in the family of the great family of Easton. You know what I mean? But Ernie Butler, when he came in with Larry Holmes, young man, trying to make a young kid fulfill his dream and his promise, I'm delighted that I had enough sense to be able to grasp them and give them the opportunity to prove themselves, and that he has done. You are the living evidence of it. I want to say God bless America, God bless Easton, God bless Larry Holmes.
Thank you, Don. And before I introduce some of the celebrities to you that are on the red carpet, on the stage, I believe we have another great performance by the Easton area high school band. And they are going to be performing the alma mater. So give them a big round of applause, the Easton Area High School Band. high school band. Come on, give them a big round of applause. Again, I would like to introduce some of the people, and I hope I don't forget somebody, because it is a jam-packed red carpet stage, including that great entertainment and concert promoter, Mr. Connie Mack. Give him a big round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, without question, the man who has been called the hardest puncher of the century, the one and only Ernie Shavers. A great guy, former light heavyweight, cruiserweight champion, and also does a great job with boxing announcing and color commentator, one of the most popular fighters, the one and only Bobby Ches. And this guy was a four-time division holder, one of the toughest fighters to ever put gloves on, to ever enter the squared circle. Ladies and gentlemen, they called him the Tasmanian Devil, Vinny Pazienza. And of course, who could forget our own great former Pennsylvania cruiserweight champion, Art the Breeze Bayless. Former national AAU heavyweight champion, Marvin Stinson. And champion maker, sparring partner, whatever you call, one of the best in the business, former heavyweight contender, Jody Ballard. And a big round of applause to this gentleman seated behind me. He is one of the greatest sculptors in America today, Brian Hanlon. And well-known artist James Fiorentino, ladies and gentlemen. And they call this guy the touchdown maker. Here is Stephen Baker. And another gentleman that worked very hard in getting this project together, I guess you would call him, we got a lot of champions on the stage, but without question, he is America's turkey champion, the president of Jandal Industries, Mr. David Jandal. The undisputed champion of turkeys in America, and with him another good friend, the guy that brings you all the fabulous shows at the Sands Event Center, the co-owner, Mr. Jeff Trainer. And you talk about football greats, football legends. How about a big round of applause for Mr. O.J. Anderson. One more round of applause. We're going to reintroduce her to you. She is a very special person. I've had the pleasure of announcing some of her fights when she was fighting. Now she's a judge in Philadelphia, so we have to be careful what we say. A wonderful person. Ladies and gentlemen, a great fighter and the daughter of the legendary heavyweight champion, Smokin' Joe Frazier, Jackie Frazier, live. And while we're talking about the Frazier family in the audience, a big round of applause for Joe's other daughter, Wetta Frazier Collins. And we have a great Olympic runner, Joetta Clark Diggs. Here she is. And now, my pleasure, as I've done maybe 50,000 times over the years, I'm going to introduce our guest of honor. When I am done, the Easton Area High School Band is going to play a very special song. And again, as we mentioned, this gentleman put Easton in 100 different countries around the world. And this song was played every time the champ was introduced in the ring. Now, a little bit of boxing history. He is the first boxer to come into the ring with music. Now, of course, today, whether it's Mayweather, whoever you're talking about, they all do it. But it was this gentleman who started the trend of coming into the ring, making their grand entrance to a theme song. And what a song it was. Ladies and gentlemen, my pleasure to introduce to you the man that we have come here to honor this afternoon, the legend, the man who overcame insurmountable odds that most of us would have long thrown in the towel. He came and overcame those odds to go on to be one of the greatest heavyweight champions of all time, now enshrined in immortality in the International Boxing Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, the Easton Assassin,
I can really talk to you now. And I'm gonna really talk to you. I'm gonna see if I can take this mic off and stay here so I can really talk. There you go. See, when I talk, I like to walk. It ain't no, listen, you're gonna got a bad leg, but that's because I'm getting old. But that's a good sign. And a lot of the people that I came up with, they ain't here no more. But I tell you what I want to do. I want to thank my brother Jake for being there with me each and every time I step through them ropes. My brother Jake, he's sitting over here. And also I want to thank my man Cliff. We grew up together since we was kids. Cliff Ransom, y'all, give him a big hand too. And every time I got in the ring, I was able to get in the ring with a guy that I liked boxing. That was Jody Ballard. Give him another hand. Jody said that was the only boxing I had. It wasn't the only boxing I had because I had 3 or 4 other guys. But he seemed to like those whoopings, so I just kept giving them to him. Hey, Ram, that's the way he was. And I'm glad to see you here. I'm glad Diane brought you here to say the prayer. Beautiful. I'm glad that Murad Muhammad got here. And Larry has it. I call these guys practically all the time just to say hello because these guys are my friends. And sometimes we always say, you know, people get the ring up out the stomach, what they do, they forget. I ain't forgot. I ain't gonna never get the wrinkles out my stomach because I'm always thinking something. And I also want to thank Debbie Casio for flying in from, what part of Georgia? Savannah, Georgia. Every time we have something going on, she flies in for Savannah, Georgia. It's great. And that's really what it's all about. People not forgetting where they come from. Ernie Shavers, all the way from Las Vegas. I mean, he came in not to tell you, he hit me so damn hard, I still got a knot right there on my head, you know. 30 years later, that's how hard that man hit. And you know, the thing about fighting Ernie Shavers, I didn't want to fight him. He was not only my friend, but I was using that as an excuse. Because I knew how hard he hit, because I worked with him as a sparring partner. And that man hit. I mean, he was sending guys home left and right. I was the only fool, I stayed. I guess that's how you have to learn. And I tell you, it's really great. I still got the mouth and the south back there behind me, Jody Ballard. And the guy right here in our area in Bethlehem, Allentown, I think he lived in Allentown. This guy, little guy, Art Bayless, 180 pounds, he got in the ring with me every day, didn't miss now and day. And I'm surprised that he's still good. I mean, here in the head. Because, you know, fighters, you know, they're known to take punches, and people say they're punchy a little bit here and there, you know. I think my wife thinks sometimes that I'm probably a little punchy. But you know what, after 75 fight, what the hell you want? Damn, you know? But will you shut up back there, Jody? You know, see, Don King was my man. He got Jody. And boy, I had a good time. Thank you, Don King. That was like getting the rings every day. Every time I got in the ring with Jody, I was thinking about whooping his butt all day. So, but you know what? Since I got here in this town, I think it was 1956. I was 5 years old. I didn't know none of this was going to happen. I was only 5 years old. I didn't know if I was going to box. I didn't know if I was going to play football or basketball or wrestle. I didn't know I was going to do none of that stuff. And every time I said I'm going to be a wrestler, I started playing football. I like football. When I was a kid, I used to watch TV with O.J. Simpson. I'm going to be O.J. I'm going to be like O.J. I'm going to put him out of a job. And then next thing you know, I'm going to be a truck driver. That's what I thought I really wanted to do. So I quit all my jobs and I went to driving truck. 5 years later, I don't want that truck no more. What you gonna do? I'm gonna box. Why you want to box? Well, I don't know, I just like it. So, we turned to boxing. What I'm trying to say, you know, I made all these plans. None of it happened. Because God made the plan and He's the best of planners. I could have said I don't want to be everything I wanted to be. But, you know, God showed me the way to be a fighter. If I dedicate, discipline myself, no way in heck I could lose. And I tell all the young people that if you want something bad enough, you can get it. But make sure that's what you want. Don't get it then think about it and no, I really don't want it. Because you still don't know what you want then. You should continue to think about what you want and what you want to do in life, what you want to be, and where you want to be in life. And that's what I tell young people. And it's hard for them probably to understand even what I'm saying because they're young. But it will hit them just like it hit me. I wanted to be a boxer, I wanted to be a good boxer. I want to have a clean reputation. I want to treat people like people. I don't want to think I'm better than you or anybody else. And every time I did something that I thought maybe I'd get in trouble, I stopped. I didn't want to be in trouble. I wanted to keep my name clean. And I feel that the best way to do that is stay right here in Easton. Because the town is not a big town. It's not a lot of competition, I would say, and that's what I think in this town that you have in New York or North New Jersey, Muhammad, or Elizabeth, or in Hollywood. Hollywood, you got to keep up with the Joneses, you know what I mean? I wanted to stay here where I can just be normal. And that's why I think I got my blessings. Because I wanted to stay here. I didn't want to forget where I came from. I didn't want to say, hey, the wrinkles are out my stomach, so I forgot about this place. I tell you what, there ain't nobody in this world here. Nobody in the world, I don't think, has gotten or getting what I have got and what I have achieved. How many people do you know? And I want you to call it out to me if you know, to have a street named after them. How many people you know to have 2 buildings that he built? How many people have a statue of a good-looking man in the yard? I don't know if there's a God, He's on my side, because I tell you what, I've been getting all my wishes. My dreams have came true. Because one of the things that people were saying here in Easton, a lot of them would say it, and said it, they never thought I would be heavyweight champion of the world. But I had to prove to them because I like the competition. I like when y'all said I ain't gonna do it, so I can show you I can do it. I can do it. And then when I started winning the title, I thought, oh, well, he'll be broke in a week. I've been rich 36 years. And still got money. And got 2 buildings over here that I'm now selling everything I have because I'm tired. You know why I'm tired? I'm tired of owning in this town. I'm going to tell you why I'm tired. I'm telling you now, I'm going to tell you, don't get mad at me. Because there's a lot of haters in this town. They're jealous of what people accomplish. I worked hard for those buildings. I spent my money on those buildings. Not the bank's money. They're borrowing their dime from the bank to build $7 million in buildings. I pulled it out of my pocket and did it. Why I did it? Because I want to be a part of a city that I want to raise my kids. And I think I don't even have to raise my kids by myself. I got all of y'all to help me raise them too. Because my mom went to everybody's house. She didn't care if you was black, white, green, or orange, or whatever. If she needed something, the next door neighbor would help her out. With the Italians, the Jews, the Lebanese, the whites, the black, we was all together. Now everybody want to separate and be somebody else or somewhere else. And move to a different neighborhood, don't want to be in that neighborhood. I don't care what neighborhood, I could be living in the project as long as you don't be messing with me. So, you know, people do forget where they come from. When they get the wrinkles out the stomach and they hungry no more. They forget. And a lot of times I should have forgot. Because a lot of people keep saying, why you stay in Easton? It's home. You need a home to go to. When you ain't got nowhere else to go, when you go home. After you go out in the night and get drunk, where you go? You go home. So why not stay home and get drunk? That way you don't get in no trouble when you're drunk, because you know how we get when we get drunk. We don't care too much about nothing. I know, because I was that way last night. Sorry, Rev. But you know, I'm still a human being. I still like to have fun. And every now and then I still want to race around the street a little bit in my car. And the cops pull up beside me, I wave like this, like I wasn't speeding. And some they don't give me a ticket. And that's nice. You hear that siren? They used to be at my ass all the time. But on Larry Holmes, you gotta tell it to the judge. I got the judge sitting right here. What here? I got the judge. I got two of the judges. Judge Smith have one of the nicest offices in this town. On the 4th floor, right? With a jailhouse I built. It's a nice facility. And I ain't in there. I always let you say, how many people know that I got my own jailhouse and I ain't in it? This is, you know, it's mind-boggling how things can happen, things can change. A black man owns his own jail. And I can park next to the judge. They go send me to jail if I don't straighten out. Never. And this little guy here, Jack, I'm gonna tell you what I told Jack. Long time ago I told Jack. He was my lawyer. And I said, Jack, no, he told me he's a liar. I'm gonna be a judge. I thought, you crazy? What do you want to be a judge for? We can't hang out no more. We can't go get the beers and drink, hang out. He said, but that's what I want to do, Larry. And you really want to be a judge? Yeah, good luck. Go on to be a judge. I didn't tell him don't do it no more because everybody has a dream. Everybody want to do something. He's a judge. He's a Supreme Court, Superior Court judge. He's my friend. And I ain't going to jail with nobody. Ed Smith is my friend. I used to be a good customer of mine until he got to be the federal judge. But he's my friend. And I'm glad that he's what he is today. Because he got the understanding of both sides. The good side and the bad side. He knows. So he can be a judge, because he knows how to judge. Because he was out there with me, which I was drunk that one night, and he wouldn't buy me another drink, damn it. But it's nice when you got friends. And I really appreciate the fact that everybody here, y'all can been anywhere in the world. Y'all didn't have to be here today, but y'all came down here with me. Support me. My daughters are here today. I want to introduce them to you, my family. My daughter, Missy, she prays for me a little bit every now and then. She's a minister. My daughter, Lisa. From my oldest one. The one in the middle is Belinda, my daughter, Belinda. And my daughter, Candy, in the back. Candy. And Larry somewhere, but I think, what the hell is he? Oh, it's back there. Larry's way back there. I hope he ain't drinking Budweiser today. Larry just had a baby. I didn't think he was going to do it. I waited 30 years. Was the baby there with you? Hold the baby up. Come on. The baby all the way. Where you from? New Zealand? Bring the baby here. Bring me the baby. I think the rope is long enough. I ain't jumping down there. I can't, I'm old. Give me the baby. See the baby? He ain't gonna have no problem getting women. Because he's gonna have that skin. He got that yellow skin. He's black and he's white. How about it, everybody? What's his name, Larry? Larry? His name got to be Larry. You gotta call him Larry. The wind is cold behind So that, that's for educated people. We just Larry. Our mom named us Larry. We Larry. Not Lawrence. Who named Tyrone? I wrote wrong. This is my grandson, and my other grandson is Sweet. He's my man. Great grandson. Great That means I'm old great grand. Anyway, that's my daughter Misty, my daughter Lisa, my daughter Belinda. Candy somewhere, right? Candy and Larry back there. Back there. Hey, listen, wait a minute, y'all. Wait. Yeah, I know they gotta go to the airport. But I tell you what, I want y'all to know something, okay? A lot of people are not gonna admit this. Jody Ballet is not gonna admit this at all. You know, but I had a few fights, so you know what I mean? I might do this. I mean, if I didn't have no fights, I'd probably be straight. I have some sense, but I'm half-ass crazy. Especially when Ernie Shaver hit me, goddamn, you know? But anyway, I love everybody, man. I want everybody to know that. And I appreciate everybody coming down here tonight. I really do. And you know, I ain't gonna ever forget, I ain't ever gonna leave. So if you see my house up for sale, you just that I'm downsizing. I'm not doing anything stupid. There's no other place I wanna live. And you know, the lady that I really need to thank for all of this stuff is my wife. And I want to say that my wife works hard. And she pisses me off sometimes because she works hard. But I can't do a lot of stuff, you know? But she's a great lady. And I never thought that I'll be married for 36 years to one woman. Well, you know, celebrities, you know, they got a lot of women, they get married a lot. Boys married, married. Like that girl Kim. What's that girl name on TV? Kim, Mike with the mic. Kardashian. How many times she get married, Mike? Oh, you didn't count them. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to unveil the statue. But I don't want to stop. I want to tell y'all some stories. But you know, they keep telling me, oh, it's getting dark. We've done things in the dark before. But we played football in the dark, didn't we? And when you meet somebody, ain't got nowhere to go, where you go in the dark? Okay, I quit now. Wait a minute. Oh, I got one more to do. I'm gonna cut it short, girl. I'm gonna cut it short. I want to thank my man Sal Panto, #1 for Easton, for giving us this to do here. I want to thank my man. We grew up together. He became a mayor and I became rich. And he loves me and he does a lot of work for this town. He's a great man. And also I want to thank Murad Muhammad for coming in. I want to thank Reverend Jake Thompson for saying the prayers. I could have done it a little better, but I want to thank Ernie Shavers. I want to thank Don King, and I forget, Larry Hazard, and Gene Kilroy. I know how to say it. And Benny Paz, Bobby Chaz, where he at? And Bobby Chaz. You know, these two, and of course Jerry Cooney. Hey, let me tell you something. I'm gonna stop in a second. But you got 3 white boys that can fight. Jerry Cooney, Benny Paz, and my man over there. What's your name again? Bobby Chaz. They can fight. God likes promoting those guys because they keep them busy, man. They make some money that way. But anyway, and my man Connie Mack, he's all the way from somewhere down in New Jersey. He used to promote me and my singing. He used to tell me, hey, you can sing. Okay, he lied to me. Okay, I'm gonna turn it over now. And did I say my Mason brothers? All my Mason brothers. Thank y'all too for helping us make this day possible.
Ladies and gentlemen, Larry Holmes. At this time, Champ, we would like you and Diane and your daughter Candy and Larry too. We're going to have Larry and Diane and Jake and Candy head over to the statue.
Sorry.